I look at some of the people on our team in leadership positions and management positions, even sales, and I'm like, man, they're better at that role than I ever was when I was doing that, right? Or me or one of my partners were doing in these separate roles, and we were trying to do a little bit of everything as we were trying to grow it in the beginning. And I think that's part of it, is the right people. But then the other one is just goals. We're very big still to this day as our company setting goals, but setting big goals.
Hey, everybody. It's your buddy Justin from Spot Migration here with another episode of Building Scale, specifically the Building Connections series where we partnered with Keymakers, a C-suite networking group here out of Arizona where I live in the beautiful sunshine, which we mentioned in this episode. And then this episode, I get to talk with Doug, Caris, and Eric Rector from Arizona Painting Company to learn about their journeys. Somewhat different, both sales starts and the path they got to where they're at. We talk about how the company has grown, not just as in numbers and rev and size of team, but they've also grown in different divisions. They've grown multiple sites in Arizona, and then as well as across state lines in Nevada, in New Mexico, as well as Texas, which is very, very exciting. We talk about their approach to branding and marketing. If you've driven around Arizona for a little bit, you probably have seen one of their awesome trucks. They are hard to miss. Truck, van, maybe it's a van or truck. It's kind of that in-between space. That's what I would say. They also share insights about customer experience and how important that is, training and onboarding and their use of technology in the business. And then we conclude the conversation with a little advice for budding entrepreneurs and salespeople. So I had a whole bunch of fun here. Just really cool, awesome guys to know. And I hope you like this conversation that we had. Ahoy, hoy. So Eric, Doug, super happy to get this beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful Arizona Friday afternoon with you to kind of just chalk it up a little shop and just hear about the awesome stuff that you guys are doing in the painting world. So just first off, for the listeners, tell the origin story here, Doug. How did you get into this crazy world of painting big giant buildings?
Yeah, thanks, Justin. Appreciate it. Thanks for having us on here today. Yeah. I started in the painting industry. I was 19 years old. Quick recap my story. I started knocking doors in the evenings, setting up free estimates, painting during the day, and kind of worked in a couple different cities. Got out to Phoenix in 2012, and my former owner, my mentor in business, he was ready to sell the company. So in 2014, he sold it to me and my two partners, who we now own it together. And yeah, it's been a fun ride. We brought on a lot of amazing people along the way. So yeah, it's been fun.
And is Eric one of those amazing people, or is he just a guy?
He is one of the amazing people, man. Yeah, Eric came on. I'll let Eric, you tell a little bit of your story. Let you say kind of when you came on and what you've done with our company, what roles.
Absolutely. So I came on it's been 5 years, which is crazy to think. A quick 5 years. I came on as a salesperson. And quickly realized with Doug that we wanted to grow our commercial side of the business. And I was super, super excited about doing that. And for the last 4 years, I've been really heavily involved with the commercial side as far as like general manager. And then I quickly found out that my love for sales overshadowed the general manager side. So I begged and pleaded, not too hard, to see if I could go back and
Don't lie, it was
sales.
hard.
Yeah. And it's been an amazing ride since then. And the opportunities and growth that we're experiencing now is just, there's not enough hours in the day for us to do things. So.
Okay, write that down. If I can create more time, I can sell
please.
to you guys. Okay, check. Awesome. So not initially commercial. So let's walk through those differences. Let's walk through why, and let's walk through how you start that process.
Yeah, so Eric came on as just a residential estimator, and at the time it was about 2018, 2019, and we realized we knew there's a huge opportunity in the commercial space here in Phoenix specifically, and Eric quickly ascended in the residential ranks of our salespeople at the time, and I was really looking for somebody that could help me because I was trying to try to grow the commercial side on my own, and I really needed some help. So Eric, I just thought was the right person for that role. And I mean, he loves people, just loves being around people, and is great at building relationships, getting to know new people. And he was just the right person to put into that role. And he's been a huge reason of why we've grown our commercial division, a couple 100% in the last 4 or 5 years. So
that's awesome. So Eric, how do you go from, hey, can I paint your house to, hey, can I paint this 100,000 square foot warehouse?
Absolutely. Definitely there's definitely a giant leap. Lot of being humble in realizing that I don't know anything when you jump from residential to a commercial and doing these bigger projects, and just the help with everybody. I think really what it comes down to, the difference between residential and commercial is just relationships. Building that customer relationship, knowing that we're here to help them, we're here to solve a problem for them, and if anything happens, we have that relationship, we can figure things out.
Yeah, no, I think relationships are extraordinarily important. The reason we've connected, because of Keymakers, what is it? It's relationship building. How do I get in front of the right people? What does that look like? How do you get in front of the right people? What's the path to if you're knocking on doors, or if you're running ads or all those kind of things for residential, like me, I'm like, hey, my house will need to be painted eventually, so hopefully I'll get in your good guys' graces, and you can come over here to Mesa and paint my house. But how do you get in front of a developer or somebody that owns a massive piece of property and building?
I mean, I think for at least my specific role, we joining a lot of organizations, just asking people with the intent of not necessarily getting the business for yourself, but asking people what can you do for them. And I think intentionally doing that, not just expecting to go to an event, you meet somebody, oh, hey, I'm going to get their business. That's just not how it works. I think with us trying to meet people, try to connect, even on my end, trying to connect somebody that needs, maybe they need a roofer, maybe they need something else. It has nothing to do with the painting aspect of the business. I think that has, within the last few years, really risen our contacts and our ability to do what we do.
I couldn't agree more. At least you are still in the, I would call it the construction space, certainly. At me, IT and cybersecurity, so far removed from construction, but hey, if I can just connect GCs with subs, or subs with GCs, or developers or architects or engineers, or I can just put all the pieces together, I've certainly found that yes, I don't get the business in the moment, but man, do they like me later? And that certainly goes a long way. I feel like when you start a relationship, you don't necessarily see it in the P&L, right? It's not that, oh, yeah, I went to the event, got this contact, bam, here we go. That's very rare. That just doesn't happen that way. In comparison to, I've been to 7 of these things, and I've really made a lot of just, human capital, as in I've just kept giving and giving and giving, and the value has kind of really grown from there. But growing, speaking of growing, Doug, the company that you bought is now a distant past, right? Because now you're much larger, more states, more new divisions, more everything. Let's talk about that. How do you go from Arizona to everywhere? Well, not everywhere.
Yeah,
but
so we've,
at least some other
not everywhere, not yet at least, but we're working on that. We went we took over the company, we had about 40, 45 employees, to today we're over 300, and we started in Phoenix, had one office in Chandler, to now we've got an office in Glendale on the west side, we've got an office in Tucson, we've got offices in Las Vegas, Nevada, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then also College Station, Texas. And yeah, man, it's been, like I already said, bringing on a lot of really good people. You can't grow to that level and to the scale we've grown in the last 10 years without having some amazing people and also finding better people, right? I look at some of the people on our team in leadership positions and management positions, even sales, and I'm like, man, they're better at that role than I ever was when I was doing that, right? Or me or one of my partners were doing in these separate roles, and we were trying to do a little bit of everything as we were trying to grow it in the beginning. And I think that's part of it, is the right people. But then the other one is just goals. We're very big still to this day as our company, setting goals, but setting big goals. Like every year we set some big goals that really stretch us. And a lot of times we don't hit those goals, but I know that we're way farther ahead of where we would have been had we not set some big goals than where we ended up at. So, doing that, I think, is one of the biggest things that always stretches us. We look for and we find ways to continue to grow and continue to find new opportunities by pushing ourselves, right? And we do that with all of our managers, all of our team members. We try to get everybody obviously focused on business goals, but also, what are your personal goals? What do you want to achieve this year, the next 3 years, the next 5 years? And I remember talking to Eric when he first came on, like we talked about some financial goals personally,
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do? Do you want to buy a new house? Right. And he did, I think within 2 years of starting with our company and things like that. To me, that's the stuff that really gets me excited as we continue to grow, is being able to help people and not that it's me, but it's just helping them think a little bigger maybe, or just have a plan of what they want to do. And then hopefully we can help them get there by, the money they're making and, and what they're doing with our company. So. Yeah.
What was the path essentially to go from Arizona to Vegas to College Station? How do you decide to, one, plant your flag somewhere else, but then two, like, how do you then manage that place? Mm-hmm. How do you grow that place? Like how do all those things work?
Man, still working on all those things, but no, we our first city outside of Phoenix we went to was Tucson, and we went to Tucson in beginning of 2016, and that was probably, really that was the easiest one. We did have some contacts from Phoenix that were also in Tucson, mm-hmm. and some commercial customers, which really made it a pretty good transition. And it's been growing like crazy. Tucson, we're at, I think, 75, 80 people down there. And it's been just a great branch, great location. We went to Las Vegas a year later. So we went there in 2017. And then, and that one we started from scratch. It took a few years. It was kind of a struggle for 2 to 3 years. And it was investments, right? Investing into the long-term growth. But man, after 3.5 years, we really started seeing some good results. And to this day, now we're doing really well in Las Vegas. And then our 2 newest branches, Albuquerque and College Station, we went to both of those cities in the last 2 years. And we did both of those via acquisition. So we had found a company that the owner was ready to retire, ready to get out of the business, but had built a pretty good, solid company that we felt like, man, we could, make an investment here and help grow this business by, putting in some of our playbooks, some things that we do to infuse some faster growth and to be able to help more people and grow the commercial side as well in those cities. And yeah, that's what we've done. And how do we manage it? Man, it goes back to having the right people. We've got a general manager in each location that's responsible for, and that really is the one running that branch. And then, we're doing constant, whether it's weekly, monthly meetings, coaching, just really trying to help them be more successful in each one of their cities that they're in.
That's awesome. So acquisition, that's a very different path. What made you decide, hey, we opened Vegas, say organically, we went there and we just grinded it out. What was the shift of saying, okay, we're going to do this a little bit differently. We're going to try to do this via acquisition?
Yeah, I think it was Vegas. It was the time, it was about 3.5 years to profitability. And, we just thought, man, if we can at least go into a market where we have a base, right? A foundation, some good solid painters, a base of customers, and we can build on that. We feel like, man, we could, if we structure the deal right, we could be profitable way quicker. And so far, that's what's happened. We've had that in Albuquerque. It's been a way faster path to profitability. And even College Station, that's our newest one. So we're still kind of working to grow that. But we've already, in the last couple of months, started to really see some good results there as well. So, yeah, so far, it's working, right? We've done 4 acquisitions so far in the last 3 years. And, some are better than others. But they've definitely helped infuse the growth that we've had.
No, so $100,000 question. What's the next state or city? If you're willing to share that information, I don't want to put you on the spot.
Yeah, I think it's either in Texas, either Austin, Dallas, or Houston, or if it's not in Texas, I think it'd be a market I've really been watching and looking for a good potential acquisition is in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
Oklahoma, it's a very similar to Tucson, Albuquerque size kind of mid-market city, and where there's just a little less competition and could use another really good, professional painting company.
Okay. Cool. So, Eric, do you just focus in Arizona, or do you kind of look at the other places as well?
I just focus in all of Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's the opportunities and growth here. That's more than I can handle out here. So.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty confident. So I'm in East Mesa. And I'm pretty confident there's probably like $3 billion of commercial property that are going up front.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. All the new tilt buildings getting put up over by you. Yeah. There's so many of them.
Oh yeah. It's endless. And, originally from Chicago. So like I've lived in the city a good chunk of my life where, this is the furthest remote out that I've ever lived, which is not, I mean, I'm like 25 minutes from the airport, so it's not that far, but I'm like, oh yeah, if I go like 5 minutes east, I'm like, it's nothing out there. Like it's waiting to then just be developed and blow up. So you have the canvas is so wide open for you here in Arizona that it's just, can't stop, won't stop. Also, how do I get a sweet Painting Co. shirt here? Do I got to work there to get a shirt?
One.
I'll get you.
Can I at least get a hat?
Absolutely. What color? What color shirt you want?
You got it perfect. The way you got it today is perfect. Right on the gray. Oh yeah, I like that.
Awesome. Consider it done.
Awesome. So another thing that I learned about you, EOS. All right, so EOS company. We're an EOS company. So tell us about that journey and like what did that look like? When did that start? How did you implement? Where did that kind of come from? What are the things that you've found that like, oh my God, like these are game changers when we think about orchestrating the business?
Yeah. It was really in 2019. The person who's now my business coach, who used to coach one of my partners, he really was kind of the catalyst for us of bringing that up and helping us infuse that into our organization. He used to be a VP at CertaPro, which is nationwide the largest franchise painting company in the U.S. And we've been growing a lot, but as we grew, we didn't have as much structure as we needed. Yeah. So he really helped us with creating that, how to create a 1-year plan, how to break that down to quarterly rocks, and then how to have weekly meetings where you're focused on, are we on track, off track? What do we need to do? Things like that. So yeah, he was a big reason that, somebody that helped us get to that point where we had that. And at the beginning, it was kind of janky, right? We never use an EOS implementer. We kind of did it on our own, but man, as we've done it more and more, and I've got our whole leadership team to read the book, Get a Grip, which has really helped a lot. Gino Wickman's book that kind of tells the story of how to implement it and how to use EOS. It's been really good. It's helped our growth, but it's helped us have structure along the way as well.
No, I was just in Chicago, where we're headquartered out of, to have our quarterly planning for leadership team. And our implementer, Dan, he gave me the EOS Life. So not only can you do business, but you can run your life that way, which he totally is doing this. Prior to the book being out, he's like, oh yeah, I got like a level 10 for my family. I'm like, Dan, you are wonderful. I love you so much. But like, man, I don't think I'm to that point in my life where I can get my 4-year-old. All right, come on, Franklin. Let's see your scorecard numbers here.
Yep. Yeah, let's see your KPIs. Yeah, are you on track or off track to get to your quarterly rocks?
Let me know.
Yeah,
if I figure that out, I'll be out of the IT to E world, and I will be in the child development world. I guess that would be a very different chain of events would have to occur. So I mentioned the shirt and the hat, but like branding, right? So having a brand and marketing is super important, especially being in the construction space, that has been, wrapping trucks and cars and all those things have been very much a thing that's occurred. What do you do for branding and marketing?
Mm-hmm. We do a lot. Some of our big branding, marketing things that we do is radio. So we partner with a few different local radio stations here in Phoenix. So we're on KTAR. We're partnered with Larry Gatos on 92.3. We're with John Jay and Rich here in Phoenix and in Tucson, 104.7. And just, partnering with some really good people like that who obviously have a big reach has helped us a lot in just getting our name out there more. Another thing was our trucks, though. You kind of mentioned it, having wrapped vehicles. We really looked, back in 2012, 2013, towards making an investment to doing this. Mm-hmm. And, it's not cheap. Any company that doesn't have wrapped vehicles that wants to do that, like you start to realize like, wow, this is a lot of money to wrap one or two, or you start wrapping a lot. It adds up. But man, that's, I think, again, one of the biggest reasons people in the city know our name or know our logo. They know the brush because they see it. I mean, we've got company-wide, this isn't just in Phoenix, we've got like 92 vehicles that are all wrapped that are driving around with our logo all over it. We've been ranked the #1 painting company in Arizona for the last 7 or 8 years, I think, going on 8 years right now.
Good on you guys.
By ranking Arizona. So we can put that on all of our wraps, right? We are the #1 painting company. We've been ranked that. So I think those are some of the big ones. We've done billboards at times in the past. We're not doing any currently. But radio and wraps are some of the bigger ones that we do.
For the wrap or if you want to do a billboard campaign, have you tried out Do You Know the Brush? Because I'm into that already.
No, I haven't.
I don't know. I think that there's something there. It popped in my head because this is the only way my brain thinks. I hear something and then I have to.
That might be a good tagline we could use, though. I like that.
Do you know the brush?
And really overall branding and our brand is trying to be different than the normal contractor, right?
Sure.
Who gets back to you maybe in a couple days, maybe sends a quote to you in a week, right? Maybe shows up within a couple days of when they said they were going to be there, right? Not even the same day. Like, that's what we really pride ourselves on, is our guarantee, which says we're going to show up on time when we promise, with a smile on our face, right? We're going to give you daily project updates. Like, some of those things are part of what we guaranteed our customers. That is what has made our brand and helped us continue to grow.
Also, you have is it an acronym, or is it I feel like it's demonstrate, observe, demonstrate. This is a thing, right? I'm not making this up in my brain. It's somewhere back there, but it's not all there. Do raggy for coaching,
you're saying? Yes. Yes. Demonstrate, demonstrate, observe, re-demonstrate, assign a task, and then inspect.
Okay. So is that a component that is instilled in the troops and it goes out to the field?
It is, yeah. It's part of just kind of how we coach, right? It's kind of a do-raggy's like a circle, right, where it's constantly happening. But anytime you want to delegate something, you have to first do that, what I just said. You've got to make sure you do each one of those steps. So often people delegate by saying, okay, watch me do this one thing. Okay, you've seen me do it. Now you go do it. You can do it on your own. You're fine, right? You know how to do it. It's like, no, that's not really good coaching. That's not really how anybody learns to be effective, at least at something. They need to get some feedback, have a goal of how they're going to do it, and then have somebody watch them do it before they can really say, yes, you're ready to go do this.
Yeah. What does the training process look for you guys? In the construction industry, everybody said there's not enough people to hire. We can't get enough. If we had unlimited workforce, we could do quadruple the work or 10 times the work. So how does finding new people to work for your company work, or what does it look like? How does the training work like?
Yeah, in each branch, it's a little different in terms of how hard or how difficult it is to find people right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a big, again, part of the structure. 2019, we realized we needed to implement more. We've really put a bigger effort and a bigger time and investment into onboarding, specifically at the painter level. We've done a decent job, I feel like, at the sales and manager level up to that point. But in the last couple of years, we've really started to do a lot more onboarding, a full day for painters, whereas before it was just okay, can you start Monday? All right, here's an address. Go meet your crew at this job, Yeah, and we hope you can paint. Now it's full day of onboarding. It's a lot of safety training. It's a lot of training on our app that we use. That's our CRM that teaches them how to clock in, clock out, how to find a contract, how to see pictures of the job before they get there. A lot of that type of stuff. And then in the field, working with the training manager, getting coached on painting by them to make sure we feel good about them before they go out on their own to do a job.
No, that makes sense. So you mentioned the CRM. What technology have you found useful to manage the business?
We use Service Titan as a CRM. It's a big platform in the HVAC plumbing world that we were fortunately the first painting company that was able to get on there back in 2020, right, Eric?
Okay. It was, yeah.
Right? Yeah, 2020, COVID year, right after COVID, really May of 2020, I remember now, yeah.
Oh, so we're recording this May 10th, so we're literally on the 4-year anniversary.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, like any big shift in a CRM, it was difficult at first, but man, once we got going, got everybody on it, got everybody trained how to use it properly, it's been a game changer for us to be able to job cost properly, be able to give more, be able to, for our customers to be able to know who's coming to their house, right? They get a picture when the painter's on the way, like things like that. It's been really good.
That's a nice touch. It gives you that, hey, it's not just Bob, it's this guy named Bob.
Yeah.
So client experience, obviously super important. And anytime you're in any service any service delivery role, what does that look different between residential and commercial? And if so, what's the difference?
Yeah, what do you think, Eric? I'll let you speak to that.
As far as I think with the commercial customers, we're touching those every single day. It's so important to give, the customer updates of where you're at, where the project is, because, when you're generally, especially, 90% of the people who are customers aren't on site. So we have to have pictures. We have to tell them what's going on just for their peace of mind. And, I think that's what has allowed us with Service Titan and just, our guarantee that it helps us just keep the customers and get referrals, which is what it's all about.
Yeah, no, I've frequently been told when somebody, like an interior designer, when they design somebody's home compared to designing like a restaurant, there's an inherent difference, because like when you're touching somebody's home, that is very extraordinarily personal to them, right? It's just like
very emotional.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. And the shade that is a shade off, that is, I couldn't tell because I just don't, that's not my expertise by any means, can be a life changer for an individual. So I always find it interesting to do both, right? Because like there's just differences. The process is different, right? Because it's like doing a house, probably, I don't know how long it takes you, but certainly not as long as a 100 square foot warehouse would be my guess. At least that's just my math in my brain would say that those are different.
Yeah, when something like that, when that happens, you do residential, it seems like for the the homeowner, it's the end of the world for them.
Yep.
And if that were to happen at a commercial, it's just like, okay, hey, we'll fix it. Not that we're not going to fix it on the residential, but
Sure.
It feels like it's the end of the world, and
Yep.
It's our job to assure them that hey, we'll take care of it.
So we bought our house last year, and my wife will put up these sheets. I'm sure you've seen them. It's a sheet of color, right? And it says like, whoa, this will look like on the wall. It sticks to the wall. And then like, she's got like 6 of them. And I'm like, yeah, I think I like that one. They're very similar. Like, I'm like, I don't know. But like, what does it go with? I'm like, I have to see the final product. I can't tell you, this like this shade. And then when the drapes are this color, and then the floor is this color, and then we have this type of wood in this part of the room. Like that to me is, it's like foreign. Like I'm like, I don't know. Like I know a lot about lots of stuff, and that is certainly not one of them.
Yeah, it's really one of a lot of our customers' biggest pain points, especially on the residential side. So one thing we've done to really help our customers is we have a full-time in-house color consultant that
That's awesome.
if you book a project with us, you get her for an hour free of charge, doesn't cost you anything extra. She comes out, meets with you, helps you with colors. A lot of times really just gives a homeowner confidence in the colors they're already choosing, right? And then she can get you a rendering too if you want to see that, what the house is going to look like on the outside before we get the paint and actually paint it. So that's been something I think it really has helped a lot of our customers and just helped them enjoy and have a better experience using us by being able to have that as well.
Yeah, that hits it all. People, process, and technology for us, right? Like you're getting the right person in the right seat to follow the process of the sale or of the client experience, and then actually using the tech to get the rendering, which is super cool. You're hitting all the 3 pillars of scale there, so that makes sense. Yeah. What about what about the cities that you've selected? Are the reasons you go there? You talked about Oklahoma City being a possible next destination. Why those cities?
Yeah, big reason primarily is climate and having a city where we can paint, ideally at least 9 months out of the year outside.
Okay.
So, I mean, obviously
no
there's
Minnesota.
cities.
Minnesota's not happening.
No, not yet. But to me at least, there's too many other cities that are really good potentials for us where we can paint, like I said, 9-10 months out of the year outside. Before we have to go to those cities like the East Coast, the Northern East Coast, the Midwest, up in Michigan, where I'm from, Detroit, Grand Rapids. Areas like that are great, but you only get maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 months out of the year to paint outside there.
It's almost it's a very different workforce because you have half a year and then you have another half where it's like you're not really capable of doing what delivering the service. So that makes sense. This has been lots of fun. I want to ask though, both of you, one, a budding entrepreneur, what would be some great advice, or a budding salesperson, Eric, what would be great advice for them to take away?
I mean, especially on the sales side, I am always asking questions, and as long as I've been doing this, which seems it's a very short time, I learn something every single day. I mean, get your experts, get your paint reps in, get the people the painters that have been doing it, ask them questions, pick apart their brain. Just don't be afraid to be humble and ask. And I'm always like, I don't know anything. You tell me. I am a sponge when it comes to sales, and then just having the right mentors as well.
No, that makes sense. Doug?
Yeah, to a potential or budding entrepreneur, I'd say a couple things. One, it's probably going to be a lot harder than you think. You're going to have moments and times when you're going to question yourself and why am I doing this? And this could be a lot easier if I just stay really small or if I just go work for somebody else. But if you really believe and know you can do it, having a coach, right? Like Eric already said, having a mentor, having a coach, somebody that you can go to, especially if you don't have partners or a partner, having somebody that when times are tough you can go to that can help kind of build you up when you need it. Because everybody sees on TikTok and Instagram all the successes, right? But nobody sees the moments when you just get hit in the stomach, punched in the gut, and you don't know how you're going to make payroll in 2 weeks, right? Or things like that just business owners face that nobody talks about or don't talk about very often. So I'd say just to, have the right people around you, have a good mentor, have a good coach, somebody that can help you in times like that.
No, if we were to believe social media, I assume building a business is very simple. You can do it tomorrow. It would be very simple for you to do this. I actually saw a stat. I think 90% of businesses don't break $1 million in revenue a year. Just start there, and then for 10 mil, it's only 1% or less than 1% will break that amount. So for every influencer that you see, I don't know how to explain the math that way.
Yeah, so true.
This has been a ton of fun, guys. If people wanted to get a hold of you, talk to you, become your best friends, what's the best way for them to do that?
For me, LinkedIn, I'm probably the most active on there. So LinkedIn, or shoot me an email, Doug@ArizonaPaintingCompany.com. So either one of those ways, I'm definitely I'm accessible there.
Cool.
Yeah, I would say for me, LinkedIn, or just shoot me an email, Rector@ArizonaPaintingCompany.com.
Cool. I will make sure that in addition to that, I also drop in social media stuff into the show notes and all that. And is there anything else you'd like to tell the people before we bid them adieu?
Nothing for me, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you and what you're doing to, like Eric mentioned earlier, help other entrepreneurs and other business owners, man. Appreciate it.
No, thank you guys for giving me your time. I appreciate it unbelievably.
Thanks, Justin.
Thanks for listening to Building Scale. To help us reach even more people, please share this episode with a friend, a colleague, or on social media.
Remember, the 3 pillars of scaling a business are people, process, and technology.
And our mission is to help the AEC industry protect itself by making technology easy.
So if you think your company's technology pillar could use some improvement, book a call with us to see how we can help maximize your IT and cybersecurity strategy. Just go to buildingscale.net/help.
And until next time,
Keep building scale.
Scale.